Hey everybody, I'm John. I collect cards. It's Saturday, July 29th. It's my last half day here at the National coming up. I'm about to head out of the hotel and get in line for the VIP entrance for the day. I didn't get in line yesterday. I just walked in after 9:30. But today I'm going to try to get in right at 9:30, right when the first group gets in, because I do want to go back to SGC actually first thing this morning and drop off a few more cards. But first, I wanted to just touch base on some other stuff that has been part of my first national experience. I went to the Thursday night video content creator event that a number of many content creators and other friends were there, and it was just a really cool experience meeting so many people. Making some new connections, maybe even extending a few connections that were already on YouTube. Maybe some just some new friendships. So very cool experience, a lot of fun. So Friday morning, I'm going to show a few cards here, my Friday pickups in a sec. Right off the bat, Friday when I got in, I was actually looking at some 1964 cards that I'll show you here in a sec. This the next thing I know, I hear a familiar voice like going through another box at the same table, and it was Orlando from A Collector's Dream. After meeting him on Thursday night, it was great to sort of see him, us kind of like going through some stuff together for a couple of minutes. It was really cool to kind of get my day started. That was a lot of fun. And then later in the afternoon, after I got my Alan Trammell Burger King rookie signed by Mr. Trammell in very nice blue ink, that was not the best experience waiting for it to happen, but it was a cool auto once I finally got to his table. If you've ever done the TriStar auto thing there, it's almost like at a crowded airport waiting for your gate to be open to get to your plane, or maybe if you were redirected to another gate or something. It was a bit of a mess, but I'm sure it's like that every year, and I'm sure it's the best way it could be done, given how many athletes they have and stars they have signing over the whole show. So, but it was an experience. But right after I walked out of that part of the area of the show, I bumped into Steve from Vintage on Vintage and Theo, Clemente Collector, hung out for a few minutes, and then eventually Steve and I were walking the aisles for the rest of the afternoon. We had a blast just sort of talking cards and just sort of looking at cards, seeing which were good or not, and made a few pickups, and he made a few pickups, and it was just a really cool fun. A lot of fun being able to kind of do the show with another content creator, and so it was great. So with that, I am going to flip the camera around and I'll show you the cards I picked up yesterday. So hang on a sec. Okay, so I'm coming at you, by the way, from the Loft Hotel. That was my hotel for this for the show. It's a little bit of a walk from the convention center, 8 to 10 minutes. Really not that bad. If you're walking all day, why not do a few more steps? But it's actually been a cool, pretty overall good hotel. It's been fairly quiet, even though there are obviously lots of show attendees here. So in that sense, I recommend it, even though it's not just across the street from the convention center, but overall it's been pretty good. So I mentioned 1964 cards. I actually didn't have too many 1964s at all, really, among just vintage that I've picked up along the way for whatever reason. So I just kind of wanted to thumb through some, and there was one table right away where Orlando was also stopped by and was looking for stuff. I just was picking away at these and picked up 6. Tim McCarver, Bobby Richardson, they're all probably like EXNM even. They were pretty nice. Bobby Richardson, Johnny Roseboro. That's a really nice picture of John Roseboro there. Love that card. I never saw it before, but just kind of a Dodger great. Caught for them for a long time. Great photo. Kenny Boyer, Cardinals. I believe he was the MVP in 1964. Cardinals won the World Series that year. Tommy Davis, young Tommy Davis, early in his career. He had a pretty darn nice career, and his career got off to a rocking start. And they had just won the World Series the year before in '63. And then finally Ken's brother, Cleet Boyer. So I thought, I got 6 cards I thought kind of represented the era pretty well, actually. You've got 2 cards from the eventual champs that year, 2 cards from the AL pennant winners that year, and 2 cards from the previous year's World Series winner. So, and they're all in pretty nice shape. And honestly, I can't remember what I got them all for. I got them probably for about, oh, I mean, the total on here was, roughly, you know what? I got them for just under 40. I think I got them for like 36 total, in terms of once we, kind of came on a price. So, I mean, just those 3 right there were 26 he had listed, and another 12, so there's like 38 already. So yeah, so it was roughly about that. I actually was going to get another card. I was looking at Dick Raddatz, the Red Sox reliever, was kind of a neat card to have, and I put that one aside after, when I wasn't willing to go over 40. So anyway, next up, shortly after that, I found one of the Leo DeRocher, or a Leo DeRocher card that is going to fit my little 3-card goal I have of him, of just having cool examples across his career in baseball, starting from the technically started in the 20s, late 20s, but I do want his 33 Gaudy card sometime, and I just have not seen it actually at the show this in the last couple of days, so I'm probably not going to pick it up even if I were to see it this morning. I have his 53 Bowman color, and I was looking for his 71 tops in a 7 to make it kind of a challenge. But then I saw this card, and I decided to, you know what, let's be flexible on our goal a little bit. That's okay. Here's a card that stretches out his career in baseball by 1 more year. A 1972 Topps manager card that's autographed by him, no less. So it's Beckett authenticated. It's actually my first and only Beckett slab that I currently have now. I picked this up for $35. I offered 30. He said 35 would be great, and I said, yeah, that's fine. And actually a 71 and a 7, which was my previous goal for that like 3rd card of his, would have been more than $35 for sure, with the black borders being tough for 7s. So with the fact that I get an auto out of it, I'm pretty happy about this pickup. It's a little faded, but still, I love this card. It's actually a pretty nice card as well. It's actually a really cool card. Like it a lot. So was happy about that pickup. Next up, so I'll show these first really quick, and then I'll show my final pickup at the end. That sort of was the pickup of the day. I rummaged through some dollar auto boxes for a good while and just picked up like 20 of these for, I think I got them for 18 eventually, because I do TTMs, and I have a lot of 1976s, probably about 40, and now I have probably about 50. I just was like, you know what, a lot of these I've seen names for on Sports Collectors Net and their addresses. I just haven't written out to them yet, and so, you know what, saved a few stamps, picked up a bunch of these. So just flipping through them. I actually kind of like having a Milton A one. I don't know if he still signs or not. He probably does, but I know he got off to a real nice early start in his career with Pittsburgh, kind of as a young up-and-coming catcher. He was on that 71 World Series team, so I like having a card of his when he was back with the Pirates near the end of his career. Just flipping through these really quick, just sort of blast from the past kind of names that I thought were cool to get. Joe Sambito, Don Money, Steve McCatty. This pitcher was supposed to he got off to a real nice start, and I like that I got a 1980 card of his, because I think Steve McCatty was the pitcher that when Billy Martin was managing the A's in the Billy Ball era, he blew out his arm pretty much. Martin rode his starters until they pretty much threw out their arms. Mike Norris was another young, really up-and-coming pitcher in this era of the A's, who also could have had a really nice career, and it got kind of sidelined and then derailed by arm trouble. McCatty was another. Mike Cubbage. I picked this I thought this was a fun one. Just to show that one real quick. A little sticker, like a Fleer sticker, Baltimore Orioles, Ed Watt. I already have like 2 or 3 autos of him that I did TTM already. I just thought this was kind of a fun one to add. With kind of like the classic Orioles logo with the bat, with the bird holding the bat. It's a nice one for $1. Let's see. I picked up 2 1960 cards, rummaging through some, and these were nice. These were $10. He had them listed in a box for 10 apiece. I got these both for 15 total. 1960 World Series was Yankees Pirates. I got Bob Skinner, and I got Ralph Terry, who served up the homer to Bill Mazeroski to end the World Series, but then he also was the pitcher for the final out in the '62 World Series when Willie McCovey lined out to Bobby Richardson for the Yankees to win that series in an exciting 7-gamer. So Ralph Terry kind of has like a little bit of a place in Yankee lore, and so I thought this was a nice one to pick up. And then with Skinner's, I'm actually going to send this out to him for TTM because he still signs autographs through the mail. So, even if this comes back a little dinked, it would still be great to have his auto on this. So, I enjoyed getting these two for 15 because they're in really nice shape. And so the last card I'm going to show here, and we'll wrap up the video. So, I got one more pre-war card yesterday, and it's a player that I haven't really talked about on the channel, or a particular card I haven't talked about on the channel. And it was sort of in the back of my mind as a card maybe I'd look for, but I kind of had forgotten about it. I just sort of noticed the card maybe 2, 3, 4 months ago, like on eBay, just rummaging through and looking at stuff, and it was like it really drew me in. I was like, holy crap, this is a really cool card. I love it. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he is I'm a Yankee fan, and he is a well-known Yankee who played on, I believe, 5 World Series winning teams in the 30s. So he played with Joe DiMaggio, he played with Lou Gehrig, and Bill Dickey. So he was the starting third baseman for the Yankees for probably about 8 years, I think. He had a relatively short career, and that is Red Rolfe, Robert A. Red Rolfe. And this is, I'm almost certain, I didn't confirm it one last time before click and record, but I believe this is his rookie card. He played like 1 game, I think, in 1931, and then didn't play again until 1934 in the bigs. And then that's when he went on to have a really nice, solid career. And he also managed for a little while too. He may have either taken one team to a pennant or won a World Series, one or the other. Maybe not. Actually, I take that back. I think he actually was fairly unsuccessful as a manager. Now that I'm thinking about it again, I'm almost certain he was a manager though also, but he was a solid third baseman for the Yankees. He was multi-all-star, won 4 or 5 World Series with those Yankees, and it's just an awesome card. If you've seen some past videos of mine, I love the 54 Topps Whitey Ford with that light blue background, so that's what really pulled me in when I first saw this card. It's just, this is a nice one. So I got it for $150. And I'll tell you another quick little story after I talk about this card a little bit more. Here's the back. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice. I'm going to drop it, of course. That's why I need to get this slabbed, and that's why I'll be going to SGC right when I get there this morning, because of things like that. So anyway, the little centering's just really nice on it, and the typical edge wear that you'll definitely would see on a card that is, well, let's see, how many years old is it now? It's almost 90 years old, 89 years old, 1934 Gaudi. If I didn't say that before, one other reason I like what I like about this card is, so I'm not a big fan of the Lou Gehrig says in general for this set, but if it's for a Yankee, I think it's cool actually, and I think it works pretty well, especially for an already all-time great in his career, Lou Gehrig, talking about a young up-and-comer, about his teammate, because all these cards have in quotes, they sort of quote Lou Gehrig, so to speak, which is kind of humorous, but it kind of works for this one since it's his teammate. So I loved picking this one up for $150, and I look forward to getting it slabbed. I'm not even going to throw a hoped for grade out here. Well, all right, I'll hope for a 3 on it, just because the centering is good, really good. So I really enjoyed picking this one up. I'm going to keep it on the screen while I talk about one last little thing here. At the same table, I saw a 1948 Bowman Ralph Kiner rookie card, and at the Thursday event, the person I connected with there, Dan's his name and his channel is escaping me, and I really apologize, Dan, for that. So if you see this video, you know what? I'm actually going to email Dan after this to say to maybe throw a comment out there, or I'll just give him a shout out here. Either way, because I want you to be able to see his channel. So he was looking for that Kiner, and I found it was in a 1.5, and it was pretty nice. It was a new PSA label. It's pretty nice for 1.5. It had a stain on the bottom left, and it had a little bit of pencil writing on the back, but it was actually hard to see at first, and the dealer didn't even notice it until I pointed it out to him. Good dealer. I mean, this was actually it was a nice table overall. I really enjoyed talking with the guys while I was like looking at this and the Kiner. So I ended up, I got his email. I got Dan's email address the night before, and I let him know. And later in the day, he came back and got it. So that was awesome. So like that's what that making things like that happen at a show like this. That's what it's all about. So that wraps up this video here. I know it went about 15 minutes here, 16 minutes, but I'm going to show this Trammell auto one more time too, a little closer up. Nice getting that signed by him. It looks great. So thanks everybody. I'm going to do one more like national wrap-up video when I get back home, probably either tomorrow or Monday. Take care everybody.